So today is a little bit different because I'm gonna pack the car. I have a lot of gear that I need to take, and then I'm going to Legacy Studio, and then there with Joram I'm going to shoot a video on how to get a jazz tone out of some different amps, which is a bit exciting because I'm not used to shooting videos on location like that. I only just shoot video here at my own place. So I'm surprised at how much gear I need to take. So now I'm gonna load the car and then I'm gonna get going. So now we're in Legacy Studios, which it's a great studio to be in. And thank you for having us here. And I'm together with Joram Pinxteren, who is a producer and guitar player, and who's gonna help me check out some different amps. We're gonna just try a few different amps, trying to get some jazz tones, talk a little bit about how they work, what's different. And we're gonna do quite a few different ones from, like, I don't know if you can see the Marshal behind me here, and a Fender, and just to try out some tones, try and see what works. And the Polytone, yeah, of course, the Joe Pass amp. Let's just get to it. Okay, so the first amp is a Vox AC30.
Yeah, from the 70s or 80s, I'm not sure.
So, but a real Vox.
Made in the UK.
The first channel is just the normal channel. I think what was kind of interesting about this was that I never really played a Vox before, and the normal channel doesn't really have an EQ. It only has like a high cut. So basically it's like one tone knob and then that's it. It's kind of like a guitar.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not so strange. What's also maybe worth mentioning is that what you hear in terms of reverb is not from the amp. That's a digital reverb. That's my Lexicon LXP1. That's over there somewhere. I'll show you a picture of it. This is the normal channel.
Yeah.
So no EQ and no high cut. Huh?
No, nothing. Let's put the high cut at 50%.
Yeah. Yeah, and all of it equal. Yeah. 100, right?
Yeah.
So that's a bit on the dark side.
Well, let's go to the Brilliant channel then.
Yeah.
Oh, they're both by the way, in the high impedance input and not in the low one. Well, the low, you have a high and a low input on these amps.
And this is with everything at
this is yeah.
Okay.
Let's put it at 50%.
Yeah. Okay.
And the full high cut is this.
So this actually has an EQ, huh?
Yeah, this has an EQ. So let's put it halfway. We
halfway. Yeah.
And perhaps a little less bass because it's so bass heavy here in this room. So
do you have? Actually, can you try and cut a little bit treble? So the thing with the bass is, I think in this room you don't really hear it. And on a recording, you would never hear. You could just cut it, and you would equalize it. You're in a place where if you're playing in a club or something, or in a rehearsal space, then that can be kind of a problem with. I think with this amp, there's a lot of really like the sub low, which you don't really need for guitar sound anyway. I kind of like the normal version with no EQ better, right? Well, it's a bit like it's a bit fuller.
Yeah, let's go back to it.
Sometimes less choices are better.
And you can always use a pedal with a little bit EQ to get the low end.
Yeah, and also I'm still playing like the guitars. It's completely open now, so I could even cut a little bit here.
But I like the sound.
I think it's good. Let's try the Marshal. So this is a very typical jazz amplifier because this is a Marshal stack. I don't think I've ever seen anybody play jazz on a Marshal stack.
Well, I haven't. And
I've heard about Pat Metheny being asked to do a gig where he had to play on a Marshal stack. Yeah, but that was in the 70s.
So okay, this is a JCM, the well-known JCM800 series.
And the basic thing, so with everything at noon, sounds like this. Which sounds like a Marshal clean tone.
Yeah. Very bright.
Yeah.
So let's put the presence on 0.
Yeah, I would still maybe
a bit twangy.
A bit on the twangy side, and actually cut some bass also.
Treble on, let's put it on 2.
Still bright.
Not bad. Well, let's
maybe give it some mids.
Yeah, just.
Funny because I also think actually you have that with all amps obviously that they compress a bit, but this one you kind of feel it also a bit.
Yeah.
And it's really sort of picking out. You can hear some details in how you play.
Yeah.
How that plays soft.
And it has a very good punch.
Yeah. Still say how is it? If we just turn it off?
Even less.
I mean, I think. Well, if I start cutting it, it's funny that it's so bright that if I start normally if I do this on an amp, it starts to get muddy. Not on this one.
No.
Which is interesting because I wouldn't really say that.
And it's even brighter when your audience, for example, and
And it's the kind of thing like I wouldn't expect a Marshall to be that bright.
No.
This is like Fender bright to me.
Yeah, but it has a kind of woody quality, which I like. The mids are not bad at all.
And I guess so. This is also to me it's a bit rumbling, but I think that also has to do with the fact that we're using a 412.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's and it's pretty loud. It was a little louder than the Vox. So. But interesting to play gigs on this huge stack. Not very handy.
Actually, what happens if we do this?
Well,
of course, a lot less volume. Wait a minute. This is maybe actually something to consider.
a little less bright.
A lot less, but a lot nicer. And this amp has a preamp volume. So this, do you know where that is? Oh, that's just the gain.
Yeah, this is the preamp. So
yeah, this is the gain. Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to.
This is a lot better. Actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's
Interesting. A Marshall for jazz.
Yeah. Why
Not very handy to take to gigs, but still not bad. That's my private amp. He's in the back of the car for a year now, and I use it with rehearsals and all that. It's very light. It's a Roland Cube from the 80s.
And with everything anew. I mean, out just like that. That's already pretty much there as far as I'm concerned.
When you sit here, you can hear that this amp is kind of omnidirectional. So what happens is these amps projector sounds more to the front, and this one I can hear some reflections to the wall. So which is an advantage when you perform and your other band members would like to hear you. But it's a disadvantage in other places.
They don't really make this one anymore, right?
No, this is the orange one. I don't know. You can buy them once in a while.
And who played? Ed Bickert played these, right?
I think Ed Bickert played this, and in the 80s many people played it.
Oh yeah, okay.
And also rock artists seem sometimes
there was
to enjoy this.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we don't really need to do anything with it. This kind of works.
What we can do is it has a bright channel as well, and then you.
I mean, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I'm beginning to get this idea that when you're talking about the solid state amps, the bright sounds, they don't do them as well.
No.
Really. I mean, this works really, really well for the jazz tone, just right away. And then this, I wouldn't know what I want to use it for, but if you were expecting more like Fender, what we just heard, the Marshall, or the bright channel on the Vox, then it doesn't do, you know?
Yep.
Cool. So that always works. That's a practical solution, which is probably also why a lot of jazz players use it.
And you can still buy them in the new version, of course.
Okay, so the next one, the Fender Princeton.
Reissue. The Princeton Reverb. And we use the high input again. We also did it with the Marshall, but it was a bit loud. But let's see what happens here.
Yeah, we'll just change it along the way, I guess. Let's put everything at noon, kind of.
Yeah.
That's just to have some.
There's not really an at noon.
Well, at 5. Actually, I would say like just put it at 5 and then tweak. At least I don't know. Actually, for me, it's that's like there is no neutral setting on an amp. You know, there never is. And then you just have to start somewhere. But if you start in like, okay, I have this range, and you start in the middle. Yeah, that's kind of how I do that usually.
Which is okay. But what I most often do is put the bass on 2 and then the treble on 5. Okay. Which is I have a kind of the same guitar.
Actually, for a small amp, this has a lot of bass.
Yeah.
Can you cut more bass? Oh.
Just a little louder.
Yeah, sure. It's funny how with this amp, and I have that with my twin as well, they tend to emphasize the reverb a bit.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, they compress, somehow the way they compress,
yeah,
you get more reverb out of it. I don't know why that is, if it's an EQ thing or is it
I have the same with my little reverb thingy.
But I mean, this is pretty much like, there's also what I use at home is a model of essentially this.
Yes.
You know, it's a twin, but a lot of the Fenders really kind of sound the same. If it's a deluxe or a Princeton or a twin, it's mostly about how loud you have to put them before they sound.
Yeah, the funny thing is that most jazz people would advise for a 65 Princeton amp, I think.
Okay.
But I like the sounds.
Is there a reason for that?
I have no. I think the problem with this amp is that when you put it around 4.5, then it starts distorting, which is nice for rock and roll, but not always for jazz. So it's limited.
But actually, I mean, because I don't know, if you listen to old recordings of, especially Kenny Burrell, but also like Wes and stuff, they're distorting a bit.
Yeah.
I think that's really.
I think my favorite setting is around this, just a little louder. It's not good for the chords, but when soloing, it's pretty nice. And now I put it in the low input. Well, let's put it in. Yeah. This is the.
I think I would prefer the other one in terms of just how it responds in the compression.
Yeah.
But
there's a different input, 2 inputs, a high and a low again.
Yeah. But the difference in volume here, like if you compare it to how the Marshall or the Vox, you know.
Yeah, that was quite
a lot.
Yeah. Oh, and this is again an open box amplifier.
Open back cabinet.
Yeah, open back. This the Roland and the Marshall were closed, of course, and so.
Yeah, and that's also the low end being more present with it because compared to the other ones, this is a 10-inch speaker.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't in a way that should actually be a little bit less low end than a 12-inch possibly.
But now it has quite some loud. But I think I wouldn't use it on the floor, perhaps. It's very
so actually, yeah, that's true. So you get the reflection of the low end, and you can fix that by just putting it higher.
Yeah.
Which is good because most people actually don't listen that well with an ease. So when they're playing, they hear themselves better if they put their amp.
So it's handy with small amplifiers to use some kind of stand, amplifier stand.
Cool. Let's move on. Go. So this is actually kind of a mysterious, legendary amp to me at least.
Yeah.
Because this is the Lab Series L5, which is the B.B. King amp and also the Alan Holdsworth amp.
Yeah, and it's a solid state amp with lots of buttons.
Yeah, so you can pretty much tweak it to, which also makes sense. I mean, B.B. King and Holdsworth, not really the same kind of sound. I wonder, because I had the impression that Holdsworth were using a lot of like two different amps. So you would use like a Marshall for his overdrive, and then probably this for clean.
And then this is a pretty clean amp and a pretty loud clean amp. I think 100 watts. And it's there is a lot of things to tweak. We have we are again in the high input, and then we have volume, of course, some bass, and then we have a parametric equalizer,
which is actually a thing that's pretty handy for a lot of amplifiers.
Yeah, and then we got this treble button, and then after that the multi filter, which is invented by Moog. This amp is designed by Moog and distributed by Gibson. And Moog thought it would be handy to have a multi-filter in it, which is some kind of exciter, distortion thing.
Okay.
Well, and you can tweak it.
Yeah.
Let's put the microphone a little further like the rest, and perhaps a little bit more volume.
I mean, now everything is at noon, so probably I would say it's a bit brighter.
Yeah, perhaps we can put the treble a bit down.
That's more. What happens? So maybe just try and do some stuff with the frequency and the mid range. So 200 is almost not mid anymore. Yeah. Right. You can also hear now it gets really bassy. Yeah. It's the bass boost kind of.
Let's go to. Let's go to 0 or 2.
So it's taking off some high end at least.
Yeah.
So really what the effect of it is now is that it's adding high end really, huh?
Yeah.
Or maybe what's called high pass. Yeah, it's really just the presence control.
Yeah, this is more stringy sounds, perhaps. Yeah. 6. You can make a clean jazz sound with it. Let's try the compressor.
Oh yeah, okay. It's kind of interesting because very often, but maybe it's just because I'm used to like pedal compressors most of the time, but they're much more radical. I don't like the feel of them because they're messing with my dynamics.
Yeah. I don't
really have that with this.
No, it's an optical compressor.
Yeah.
And it's not too strong, I think. Well, interesting 70s, 80s amp. Really cheap, second hand.
Yeah?
200 euros, I think. And you have a big amp, which is super heavy and very loud.
What more do you want?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is
Finally,
the Polytone, the real jazz amp. So I guess who uses this? Joe Pass. Kurt Rosenwinkel used this a lot at some point. Yeah, I've seen him play them.
Okay, well, many students played.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I played them. We both studied at the same conservatory in The Hague. It is one of the amps that's everywhere there. Which actually I know now is because they will work as a bass amp as well as a guitar amp.
Yeah, well, that was the reason. That was the reason.
Yeah, that's the main reason.
Yeah.
The basic thing now, I think everything is at noon.
Yeah. Well, bass is.
So this is a closed back as well. Pretty stereotype jazz sound.
Yeah, this is what jazz sounds.
I think one thing that's maybe a difference here is that it's a 15-inch speaker.
Yeah.
So
in a closed cabinet.
Yeah, in a closed. Yeah, and probably if it was open, it would be way too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it works well for sort of having the full mid-range thing. At least that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
It gets that without getting too.
It sounds better than I remembered, actually.
That's also the thing, and that's actually true for the conservatory. No two of those sound the same. It's really like you have to find that's the good one, and then the three other ones are crap.
Exactly. And you have a new speaker in it, haven't you? So this is not.
And I don't remember which one it is. I think it's a JBL speaker, but
But I like it.
Yeah. And then the other thing, let's see, because maybe just to demonstrate that. So this actually has a mid control. Most of the Polytones only have bass and treble.
Okay.
As far as I remember, at least.
Yeah.
Maybe they made new ones. There's a newer model, and that has all sorts of stuff. But this one is sort of in between, so it has a mid control. And the thing that this one doesn't do, if I turn up the treble, which is again, and that was the same as with the Roland, right?
Yep.
The twang. There's no possibility, zero possibility for twang.
Yep. And again, same as with the Rolands. It doesn't have this have this omnidirectional.
Oh yeah. No depth zone.
Yep.
So it's a bit, yeah. So for a concert, that's a lot.
It's not a bad rock and roll low end.
No, but yeah. Then again, it's the kind of stuff where if it's the bass player who's hiring you for the gig, then you want to turn that
so
down.
for solo, it's great.
Yeah. This is already a lot better, I think.
Yeah.
But now it's also almost no bass, huh? It's a little thin, maybe. What happens if you give it a bit mid? No, that's the treble. The mid.
This is the
The upper one is the mid.
This
yeah.
one, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, but that's the jazz sound.
Yeah. not as clean as the L5.
No,
but this is the jazz sound.
The jazz sound from the conservatory.
At least.